Time for sound design. In this video, I'm gonna sample a vinyl record, this one from 1977 from Thijs van Leer, Dutch musician. It's kind of classical music, and typically when I sample, I try to sample open instruments, often like in the intro, in the beginning of the song. There's some instruments where you only hear the drums or the bass or a guitar, so that's perfect for sampling. But in this video I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna sample the end of a song, so the tail, like the last note or the last chord of a song, and I'll show you how you can use the last part of a song to create a continuous kind of moving sound. So for this technique, it's really good to use classical music where there's like an orchestra or instruments used without any drums, and they don't fade out like would you have in pop music, but it's just like one last note and it just that fades out. So I already recorded from side B, track number 3, the last part, so the last like 15 seconds. So I'll play you that first. So that's the end of the song, and that is perfect to take a little bit from, try to create a loop from that. So let's go to Ableton and I'll show you how I would use this. So here on Ableton, on the first track, I have the sample that I just played. As you can see here in the file, it's especially here the last part that I'm interested in. And you see that it is playing a sharp. So I'm just gonna copy more or less this part, put it on a new track. And I want a loop that is only 1 bar. So if I play this now, so if I would copy this or duplicate, so Command D or Control D a few times, you really hear that attack, and it's not a nice loop because the sound is fading out. The volume is higher in the beginning of the sample than in the end, so that doesn't really work. So what I do is then the second one, so the first time I play it forward and then I reverse it. So here under audio, there's the reverse button. So let me color code this in a different color. So it is forward. And let me copy this like this, and then so this kind of works as a loop. You go forward, reverse. You don't need to use sampler or anything like that. You can just do it with audio on the timeline. The only thing is that there's now still a tick in the transition. So in order to get rid of that little ticky sound, what I'm going to do is zoom in a bit, select the last part of the first sample and the first part of the second sample, and then right click, create crossfades, or the shortcut is Option Command F. And now you can hear and see also that it's a little bit better, maybe a little bit longer piece for crossfade. Let's do that for the other parts as well. So as you can hear, it's already much more smooth. Of course, the goal was not to have a perfectly sustained sound, because then it's easier to do that in sampler and use the different loop modes to create that. But the idea is that because this sample kind of fades out and then you reverse it, you get a bit more sort of a very slow, like tremolo and dynamic already in this sample. So if you use this as a background sound that you build a beat on top, you have something that kind of fades in and fades out, kind of like a wave kind of sound. So yeah, that's basically the technique to play the sample reverse, so forward, reverse, and then use the crossfade function in Ableton to blend the two samples together, but not without getting rid of the movement. So you want to keep that kind of movement between the different parts of the sample. Let me take another part of the sample, maybe the first part here, and try that again. So duplicate to another track. So here there's even more difference in volume between the beginning and the end of the sample. If I now duplicate this and reverse it and copy that, maybe I take a little bit longer part for the crossfade. And here I can take a shorter part because there's almost no click. Or maybe I don't even need a crossfade. Let's do it like this. So as you can hear, there's a lot of dynamic differences by using a sample like this, a sample that starts with higher volume and then sort of fades out. It immediately creates already like an atmosphere because you have that dynamic, you use the difference in dynamics in the sample. So yeah, this was a quick video where I wanted to show you this technique. So rather than only looking at the start of a track for sampling, it can be interesting to look at the ending of a track. There's often things there that are also isolated that are useful for sampling. Let me know in the comments what part of a track you typically sample and how you use it. As always, keep making music. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.